Now to a police department that has been in crisis. Officers under investigation, leadership in turmoil. Now for the first time, the new West Palm Beach Police Chief is outlining a strategy to keep the city safe.
My job is to project forward, see what we need to grow this agency, get us to where we need to be, projecting forward over the next 2, 5, 10 years to provide that level of consistent service that matches the population and what West Palm Beach is now and what it's becoming.
Only here on WPBF 25 News, Chief Tony Araujo sits down for an exclusive interview with our investigative reporter, Terry Parker, who joins me now. Terry, you talked with Chief about the challenges and the road ahead.
That's exactly right, Todd. Tonight, West Palm Beach's new police chief is speaking out for the first time since stepping into a department rocked by scandal, criminal investigations, staffing shortages, and accreditation issues. Chief Tony Araujo isn't shying away. In his first sit-down interview, he lays out his plan to fix the problems and to regain public trust. Here's what he told me. Police Chief Tony Araujo didn't have to take on a police department facing enormous challenges. He was a top colonel at the sheriff's office, supposed to be here just for 6 months during a nationwide search for chief. But when asked to protect the city he'd grown up in, Araujo said yes and jumped right into the fray.
If you remember, the first heavy lift we had when I arrived here was election night at the convention center. The world was watching the West Palm Beach Police Department. So we had to demonstrate then by deed, not mouth, that we are that professional grade.
Araujo took over the West Palm Beach Police Department in October when Mayor Keith James abruptly fired former Chief Frank Adderley. The department was mired in scandal. 7 officers were under criminal investigation for leaving the scene of a double fatal crash after an improper chase. And 8 members of the command staff were on leave, being investigated for double dipping and overtime abuse, some of which was blamed on bad bookkeeping programs. What steps have you taken since you've stepped in to make sure that those type of things are no longer happening?
We have established with the priority to the bosses, the lieutenants and whatnot, to make sure that until we bridge those technologies together, that they're putting in the time to make sure that the timekeeping is accurate, that there's no duplicity, and that people are where they're supposed to be and when they're supposed to be there.
And what about the accreditation issue? I understand the department is currently on probation.
That is true. We failed some areas during the last inspection, so to speak. We have quickly corrected those. I believe they're coming back in April to re-inspect us, and I feel confident we're going to be fine.
Araujo hired an outside agency to review the department's policies to make sure everything was brought up to standards.
Those 4 things that I've done my whole career is to create an environment where timely, credible, value-driven professional service is the model.
Yet you still face the challenges of staffing and equipment. And I believe that West Palm Beach, unlike some other police departments, does not have a dedicated training facility.
I've had those discussions with the city. I can tell you there are plans to build a training facility.
Araujo says in the meantime his officers train on other ranges. He's updating equipment, but he's down 18 officers and the department is stretched thin. What are you doing to fill these gaps and to make sure that the people of West Palm Beach feel like they're being protected?
Many, many, many people within the agency are doing more. They're working harder. We can't sustain this forever. But I'm glad to report to the citizens that the level of service is consistent. We have a strategy. We have a way forward. That I'm here not because I have to be. I'm here because I want to get us better. Chief
Araujo says he knows turning things around won't happen overnight, but he's committed to rebuilding trust, fixing internal issues, and making sure West Palm Beach police are fully equipped to protect the city. And he tells me this is personal. He grew up here and he's not walking away from the challenge. Terry Parker, WPBF 25 News.